Hi, good morning, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 467, and we are live in Southwest Florida, waiting on the sun to rise over the buildings and the trees in the east. And this is the beautiful Gulf of Mexico behind me. We've got some beautiful waves this morning, so nice. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Rose. If you're going to say a few hellos. Hi, Naomi. Yes, I know I'm like 3 minutes late this morning, but it took me a little while to park. Hi, Judy. Good morning. Thanks, Lisa. It looks like the hurricane's not coming to the west coast. It's going to stay on the east coast of Florida, so thoughts and prayers for people on that coast. But I think there's still another day or two until we know for sure. Hi, Leslie and Barbara. Thanks for joining live. Yep, we still need to worry about everybody else that is going to be in the path. Hi, Melissa. Good morning. Hi, Lucy. Yes, the beach is beautiful. The clouds are beautiful. And so you can see where the sun, because the sun has already come up, it's already on those clouds, even though it's not over the trees here yet. So I'm in the shade, but it's already started reflecting on the clouds, and then the clouds are reflecting on the water. It's just a beautiful composition behind me. I love it. So pretty. And the rough waves just sound amazing. Glad we could make it to the beach this morning. All right. Well, welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 467. I think so. And we're here live in Southwest Florida at the beautiful beach with the sun coming up over the buildings and the trees in the east. And this is the Gulf of Mexico behind me. If you're joining live, please say hello. If you watch the recorded version of the podcast, please also feel welcome to chime in. I get notifications of those comments throughout the day, and I know a lot of the people that join in the morning end up keeping the conversation going throughout the afternoon in the comments as well. So please feel welcome to be a part of our lovely community here in the morning. Hi, Nancy. Thanks for joining live. Hi, Lucy. Glad you all could be here. I'm going to start the podcast with some exciting news. I got an email last night from the producers of Knit and Crochet Now. And just to give you a little bit of a backstory, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but last season, season 10, when I was invited to be part of the cast of Knit and Crochet Now on PBS, which is airing now, I was told that I was a replacement for a regular member of the cast who couldn't attend during that week in March that we went to tape last year. So I never anticipated being asked back. I figured it was a one-off. And last night, I got an email from the producers asking me to come back for season 11. So this morning, I was very, very happy to reply to them. Yes, I would love to be a part of the cast again for season 11. So I'm going to be on Knit and Crochet Now season 11. So I gave my verbal acceptance, so it's not official. We don't have a contract signed, but I think it's good enough to tell you guys how excited I am. And so we'll be taping in Ohio sometime in the end of February this time. Excuse me. Plenty of time to figure out my wardrobe, and my hair will be longer, and I'll be able to figure out better hairstyles and, you know, all that girly stuff that goes on behind the scenes in addition to step outs and all the other good stuff. But excited to go and see all of the people again, because not only do I know and love everybody on the cast, but the crew is the same crew that I used to go see for the other show that I was on years ago. So some of the crew I've known for, 12 years, including the makeup artist and the producer and director. So just really exciting to be able to see all of those people again. And I'll be up north in February, so my goodness, I'm going to have to wear warm clothes too. Maybe I'll even see snow this year. Anyway, all exciting stuff, and just I never expected to be asked to return, so just really super exciting to be asked back on the show. So I've started my day very well already. Does anybody have any questions for me before I begin with, I've got a little tutorial and some tips and tricks to talk about this morning. And before I do that, I'll wait to see if there's any questions. Hi Lucy, hi Luna, hi Marcia. Thanks for joining live. I'm also wearing a shirt that I made. This is just a regular tank top from any store. And I added sleeves to it in Be So Fine yarn. For the life of me, I can't remember what I called the top. It starts with a C. It could be Chloe. It could be, it's just, you know when you've got something on the tip of your tongue? If anybody remembers the name of this pattern, please feel welcome to chime in. But if you search for a sleeve, probably, on my website, I don't know. After the podcast, it'll certainly come to me and I'll find it on my website and I'll post a link to it. So they're cap sleeves. So really what it is a half circle motif. So you work in rows increasing like you would for a top-down shawl. So think of this as a mini half circle shawl. So you start here and you increase and come down like that, and you make a half circle shape, and then you sew it to the sleeve opening. Now, I've been asked an awful lot, could you make the sleeves longer? And yes, you could. You would just make the half circle longer. And in fact, at this point, how I would modify this is not by increasing anymore, which means that it wouldn't look like a half circle shawl anymore, because in order to lay flat, the half circle would have to keep increasing for that half circle shape to lay flat. But to make it a sleeve, at this point I would stop doing increases and just repeat the last row. And it'll have that half circle shape, and then it'll have a wall that comes up, kind of like when you start a hat and then you start working even instead of increasing, you get those walls and it turns three-dimensional. Well, that's how I would add sleeves, add length to this. In fact, we should probably just do that on the sleeve so I can show you. So I'll add that to my list of things to do on the podcast for you. But if anybody, I hope that makes sense. If anybody says or doesn't say that makes sense, I'll keep trying to describe it. But what you would want to do at this point is work even, which will start bending your project and turning it three-dimensionally. But that's okay, because you're not using it as a flat piece. You're trying to make it a three-dimensional sleeve on the body to curl over the shoulder and then go straight down the arm. So you would work straight at this point. Does that make sense? I get asked that question an awful lot, so I know it's an important one, and I figure a lot of people have questions about it. Yes, it's just a plain tank top. You can see here, I'll back up so you can see it. So it's a little bit big on me now, so I tied it a little bit in the front to give a little bit of a dimension. I don't really like to tuck things in too often, but it's just a plain tank top, and so I made a half circle shaped motif, and then I sewed it to the edge. Oh, it's called the Brook tank top. Yes, Judy, thank you. So I was off. I said it was B, a C, it was a B. All right, well, I'll still post a link to the free pattern page when we're done with the podcast, and I'm pretty sure that the video tutorial is already embedded on that page. But if you just wanted to watch the video, you could find it here on YouTube, and if you want the pattern, you would go to my website. But more than likely, they're both on my website as well. So thank you for helping me with the name of the pattern. It totally escaped me as soon as I sat down here. I was more prepared at the car. But it's a great idea for adding a little more coverage to a tank top. It's super easy to do, and like I said, if you wanted to make it longer, you could, and we can definitely work on that as well. On the top of, yes, it is on my website, absolutely it is. On the top of my to-do list, there are a few exciting things coming soon for you, one of which is going to be the Summer Love and Vest. I am almost finished with that one. Yes, Judy, this is also a free pattern. That is correct. Top of my list of things to accomplish this week are the next PDF is coming out. It's going to be called the Abigail Column Shell Stitch tutorial, and it's amazing. It's going to be the same format as the single crochet tutorial that was released last week, but it is a stitch pattern with a multiple of 8 and a 2-row repeat. So learning how to make all of the 7 different shapes, working even in rows, working even in rounds, circular motif, square motif, rectangle motif, hexagon motif, and top-down increasing triangle are going to be so amazing for you to learn within this stitch pattern. It's going to come with written instructions for all of those shapes as well as charts, and plus you're going to get the 90 plus project ideas for how to take those different shapes and apply them to finished projects for yourself and for gifts. And then at the end of this whopping PDF tutorial, you're also going to get 3 patterns, a beautiful square baby blanket with a gorgeous ruffle, and a Mommy and Me hat set. So huge value for $3.99, and I should be releasing that today or tomorrow. Then after that, hopefully I will finish the Summer Love and Vest this week and re-release that pattern along with photos and video and all that good stuff. Yeah, so lots of fun things coming this week. And I will be dyeing bling yarn this week, so I should have new fall colors by next week for that. And there's still some gorgeous summer colors left if you're still in the mood for some beautiful bright sunrise colors and a few other things. Do I have a pattern for fingerless gloves? Yes, I'm pretty sure I do. You go to my free pattern directory, and it would probably be under miscellaneous or accessories, but you could definitely find it under Be So Brave patterns, because I do have a couple sets of them, 1 knit and 1 crochet that were made in Be So Brave yarn. So if you go to the pattern directory and search by Be So Brave yarn, I'm pretty sure you'll find them there. If you don't, please leave me a comment here or send me an email, and I will gladly try to help you. So I know some people often ask me what's my email address. The easiest way to contact me for email is to go to the Contact Me page on my website, and that sends email to me, and that's the quickest and easiest way, so you don't have to memorize an email address then. You're welcome. I'm happy to help. Any other questions before we move on? Karen received her new Be So Soulful yarn already. Wonderful. That's great. That's one of the new yarns I've already dyed for fall. So Be So Sporty yarn has new colors, and so Be So Soulful. Saw a question, but I didn't see it in time, so if you want to repeat it or save it for the recorded version so I can see it better, it's up to you. But I saw the word pooling, and that's about it. Lisa's going to order yarn. Yay! Thank you. So it's still really hot here in the sun. This is one of the reasons why I don't always come to the beach in the morning. My screen has overheated and gone dark already. Not sure I'm going to be able to read any more comments. I'll try. Anyway, so I'm going to move on to the next part of the podcast this morning. So I've made it further along on the commission piece I'm doing for a magazine. I'm making a Ruana, and I'm doing it modularly. So I've done the center portion of the Ruana already, and now they want me to change direction to make the sides wider, but instead of going up and down for the fronts, I'm going to go side to side for the sides, and they also want me to do that at the bottom edge. So I think I'm going to do the bottom edge first and then do the sides last, so that the sides go across the whole piece. But in order to do that, I find it's much easier to block modular pieces before continuing on and working onto them. Which reminds me of a question that came up earlier this week. Someone wanted to add some stitches to a piece that was already blocked, and they said, how am I going to do that because my gauge is off? Your gauge really isn't off, it just feels like it's off because your new stitches aren't blocked yet, but it actually works out pretty well to do that. So even though it looks wonky, it usually works out really well, so don't worry about it. Anyway, so in order to do all that, I do very highly recommend weaving in your loose ends first before you block something. So I got all these loose ends to weave in this morning, and I thought that I would give some tips and tricks while I'm doing it, because weaving in loose ends on fine stitch work can often be hard to do. So I'm going to tilt the camera down so you can see my lap. Oh man, I can't see the camera. Let's see, where's my hand? Okay, I can barely see my skin, so I'm assuming that this is a good spot. The screen is that dark that I really can't see what I'm doing. If I come closer, maybe it'll be for sure. Is that good? All I see is reflection. All right, maybe. Wow, this is nuts. I can't see at all. Maybe. I'm gonna have to lift the camera up and ask you, can everybody see my lap when I do that? Because I can't see the screen. It's good. Okay, thank you. So we'll come back down. Okay, yep, I think that's good. All right, so on fine work like this, crochet is a little easier than knitting at this point because there is more of a knotted nature to the stitches. Unless you're doing lace with some decreases and increases, I find that stockinette in really fine yarn can sometimes be hardest to weave in your loose ends. So in crochet, I find that just the nature of the stitches is a little bulkier, which ends up being to your advantage when weaving in loose ends. And so I try to go in and out of the bulk of the stitches. And then you want to apply all of the other normal rules that we have about weaving in loose ends, which is to work back and forth in at least 3 directions, and also to weave in at least 4 inches or so of your tail. So having said that, how you want to cut your yarn at the end of a piece of work, or like, let's say you're at the end of a ball of yarn and you're getting ready to join the second ball, you want to make sure that you've left enough tail to sufficiently weave in loose ends. Which reminds me, I had a great comment the other day. What if your tail is only 3 inches? Then what do you do? And I'm going to show you. Oh, I went in and out of the same stitch and unraveled my thing. I'm sure everybody else does that too sometimes. So once I find a good bulky spot to work in, I'll go back and forth a couple of times, and then I'm going to come up to the next area of bulk. So this is where I've worked multiple stitches, and I find that those are really good places to weave in the loose ends, where there's a lot of concentrated stitches. Okay, so I feel like I've done a sufficient job of weaving in my loose ends. But what I'm going to do is cut this tail so that it's short, so I can show you my tip for if you have to weave in an end. Let's say I just started now, and this is my tail. What's going to happen is, if your tail was only this short to begin with, and you're trying to weave in your loose end, what you're going to find is that it's very difficult to keep that tail woven into the needle's eye and to turn it and have enough space to work your weaving. So what I'm going to show you right now is something that does help. Is it a perfect fix? No, because if your tail's this short, you're not going to weave in enough for it to be able to stay in place, but it's better than not weaving at all. So what I'm going to show you is that I use the side that has the eye on it as the guiding part of the needle. So that way there's no, so if I turn it this way, there's not enough space to turn the needle without it coming unthreaded. So instead, I'm going to use this side and guide it into those stitches and weave in my loose end this way. And what'll happen is it'll work, but sometimes it'll unthread the needle. It didn't yet, but when we do it the next time, it might. It's still better than not weaving in your ends at all. So we'll try that in the other direction. And what'll happen is when it gets too short, it'll end up unthreading your needle. And that's, oh, got it still. So we can try it one more time. So that was a really wonderful question that came in the other day, and I've been really excited to have an opportunity to show it here on camera. because I would imagine not everybody knows how to do this. There we go. That's the last one. So we were able to weave in 4 times still with that tiny little tail by turning the needle around and working and guiding the needle in through the bulky side, the eye side. If anybody has never seen that before and learned something new today, please leave a comment, because I'd love to see if I helped anybody on that. Because I know it's not a common teaching technique. Hi, Migdalia. Hi, Miranda. Martina learned something new. Yay, I'm so glad. Melissa's never seen it before either. Neither has Karen. Carol thought it was a great tip. Migdalia says first time for her. Wow, I'm so glad. Because if it's your first time seeing it, then you can absolutely use this, because I know you've had short tails before. I've had short tails before. Everybody's had short tails before. So if you've had short tails before and you didn't know what the heck to do with them, now you know what to do with them. Yes, Karen, it can be a struggle. Kim's never seen it before either. Wonderful. I came up with it on my own, but like I've said many times before, when I come up with stuff on my own, it just means I came up with it organically at my own. It doesn't mean I'm the first person to think of it. It just means I came up with it on my own. Jane uses a crochet hook. Yeah, a crochet hook will work as well. This is just a great way to use the tools that you have at hand and not have to get up and go find another tool. And especially for those of us that like to knit and crochet on the road, sometimes you only have the tool with you that you came to use, and you only have that needle with you. Like this morning, I'm here remotely on the beach. All I brought with me was my weaving in tapestry needle. I didn't bring extra tools just in case. So to have a quick fix to use when that's the only tool you have, it's just a great skill set to have in your toolbox of skills to use in a pinch. But yes, a crochet hook works as well. That is true. Does anybody have any other questions? I think if I cover my eyes, I can see the screen better. Hi, Jill. Good morning. Yes, it is a beautiful view. I agree. The screen's gone dark. Hopefully so if I go missing, it's because my phone got hot and shut down. So let's hope it doesn't happen. Thanks, Pamela. This is the Brooke pattern. You can find it on my website. They're adorable little cap sleeves that I teach you how to crochet and then attach them to any tank top. Anything sleeveless, this would work. So if you have a sleeveless dress and you want to cover your shoulders, this would work. And I also talked earlier in the podcast about how to modify these if you wanted the sleeves longer. So if you're interested in that, just go back and watch the replay of the parts you missed. And I'll be posting, if you can't find the pattern or the video, I will share those in the video description when I get back to my office this morning, which will be roughly a half hour after the podcast ends. Are there any other questions about anything we talked about this morning? Yeah, you should try the sleeves. They're super easy. It's a quick project. Oh, can I show what I'm wearing again? Sure. So this morning I'm wearing the Brooke tank top, which is a sleeve modification to a plain store-bought tank top. So it's just a plain store-bought tank top. I tied it in the front here because it's getting a little baggy on me, and I don't often like to tuck things in. So what it is, a plain tank top, and we crochet half circle motifs and sew them to the sleeveless tank top. This could work on a sleeveless dress or a sleeveless blouse as well. There really is nothing sleeveless that you couldn't do this for. And earlier in the podcast, I explained how you would go about making them longer if you wanted these a little bit longer. So if you want to watch that, that could be helpful. right, I can't see again. Dang it. Maybe that will help. You're welcome. My pleasure. Yeah, crocheting the t-shirts are super fun too. I agree. I want to do more of those as well. All right, somebody would like to pick a number between 1 and 5. We can randomly pick a quote from one of the Create, Share, Inspire notebooks and share it and talk about it and hopefully get inspired this morning. I think I see a 1. Oh, this is a good one. I have to laugh at myself every time I say that, but that's okay. I like laughing at myself too. So this is from Helen Keller. What I am looking for is not out there. It is in me. I love this. This is often a hard concept to accept sometimes. No matter what it is that you're seeking, you'll always find it for real if you search within. Very profound, very deep. It's something that you could really reflect on for a very long time, but always a great reminder that if you just settle your mind, calm yourself, whether it's through meditation or creative writing or journaling or whatever meditative technique you use to quiet your mind, you can always find your answers within. I love that. Whatever you're seeking. So thank you, Helen Keller. What I am looking for is not out there. It is in me. Love this. Always a great reminder to remember that we have everything that we need inside. We just have to believe it's there, and we have to believe in ourselves. What a great little tidbit to start our day with. So happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise, the morning at the beach, the waves, our tutorial, my exciting news about Knit and Crochet Now, Season 11, the tutorial, chatting with me and everyone else. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.